But in all seriousness, animal rights advocates, as the name implies, is a animal rights server, or in other words, a vegan server. So
No,
what
it's
do you
a
think
cannibal
about?
server.
Yes, cannibalizing plants.
Yeah,
So what's your favorite part of the plant to eat?
I don't eat plants. I just eat humans, you know. That's my thing.
Why can't you eat plants instead? Then the humans won't have to suffer and die, right?
They taste shit.
Have you ever tried vegan options before?
No,
Well, then how can you know that they taste shit, right?
because it looks like shit.
But just because something looks like shit doesn't mean it tastes like shit.
Can you eat shit? Answer me, can you eat shit?
Well, shit definitely doesn't look appetizing, but that doesn't mean
Yeah,
that it
same
doesn't
as
taste
vegan
nice.
food.
But we know that it doesn't taste nice because I think people have tasted it before and we can take their word for it.
Yeah, same about plants.
Same about.
Plants, same about it. So, like, what are you, a vegan?
Yes.
Damn, your life sucks.
Okay. Why is that?
Because you need, like, pills to continue some vitamins like B12.
Well, non-vegans already supplement B12 anyways, indirectly, because animals are fed B12. So you get the B12 from eating the animal.
Yeah, you
But
get
the
B12 from animal. You get it from pills.
yes, but the animal has to eat the pill for you to, and then you eat the cow, and then you eat the pill indirectly through the animal.
Yeah, cool.
So therefore, you are also taking the same amount of pills as vegans are.
Cool, so now I'm eating a cow plus a vegan.
You don't seem interested
Yeah,
in discussing this. I mean, I
yeah,
already
but,
see you
but,
part
but
of animal
I'm
rights
going to talk
advocates.
seriously. Like, for example, you can't be a bodybuilder at the same time being vegan.
Well, did you know Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, which is the largest body of nutritionists in the world, states that you can be an athlete on a vegan diet, that it's suitable for athletes?
But how you can get fucking protein from vegetables?
Well, surprisingly enough, you can get lots of protein from vegetables. Like pumpkin seeds have 24 grams of
Yeah,
protein
yeah,
per.
yeah. But you gotta eat fucking 30 billion just to get your need protein daily. You know, you need to eat high volume to get your macros.
That's all
I thought
incorrect.
the same. What are you going to say? What did you say, Harry?
Yeah, I've been saying that's all incorrect. As long as you're eating enough calories, you won't have any trouble finding protein. All the essential amino acids that we need to survive, we can find them in plants. As Sun Hero pointed out, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, released a peer-reviewed statement concluding that plant-based diets are nutritionally adequate through all stages of the life cycle. So that's untrue. The claim that you have to eat an exaggerated amount of calories to get protein from plants.
No, I'm not talking about the calories. Like, for example, for me, I would not like eat a lot of food just to get my daily macros. I will prefer the short things.
And why do you prefer to harm animals if you don't need to?
Bro, I don't. Like, there's a difference between a human being and an animal. A
Okay,
human being
so
can
what's
judge.
tell me what's the difference then? The morally significant difference that justifies to murder one to eat it and not the other.
Well, I would say that you don't need to think that animals and humans are on the same level in order to be vegan. You just have to think that animals are worth more than taste pleasure or sensory
Sure.
pleasure.
Yeah, and I wasn't implying that we're the
Yeah, so,
same
so
either.
what is the worth? Like, what they're worth? Besides, you can eat them.
Islet, can you tell me what's the difference that justifies the difference in treatment? What justifies
What?
murdering one and not the other?
Like, look, I am a Muslim, and we have like specific animals that we can eat. We don't eat everything.
Do you believe in a benevolent God?
What?
Do you believe in a benevolent God?
What is been a?
Do
I
you
don't know
think
the word.
do you think God is good?
Yeah.
And do you think I'm sorry, do you think animals can suffer and feel pain and stuff like that? And they want to live?
It depends. Like, cause like in our religion we have like a special way. We do not put them like in a machine and whoop out they're dead and something like that. Like the way we the way we murder animals is
I know,
like
yeah. I know what you're gonna say. You do it painlessly, but they wanna live, so you're robbing them of future experience. So
how
the,
did you know that they want to live?
don't you think they avoid noxious stimuli? Like if you were gonna stab them, don't you think they will avoid getting stabbed, to run away? Don't you
Yeah,
think animals value their own lives?
yeah, because they will be like scared of that current pain, but like we don't you like for example like a sheep, you give it like a year, like it lives 1 year, 2 years, and like a 1 year in animals years are fucking a lot.
Okay,
So
so
they
let
are
me
in
ask you this. Let
like
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Like, would it be justified to murder a human painlessly to eat it, like without him knowing
yeah,
it?
but what you don't understand, there is a difference between a human being and an animal.
Okay, so that's what I've been asking you. What's the difference that justifies the differential treatment?
Look, like us as humans being human being, we can think, we can create things, we can, there's a lot of stuff that we can do and animals can't.
So, do you think all humans can think and create in the same degree?
It depends on the person. Like we all actually have the same mind. It depends like how you use your mind.
So, do you accept that there are intellectually disabled humans that can't think in the same way as you and me can? Like intellectually disabled humans who can't create things in the way we can? Are there humans like that?
Yeah, they're human beings.
Okay,
Like
so would it be justified to kill and eat humans like that? Are in the same level mentally as an animal?
but like how do you say like disabled, like physically or what?
Mentally disabled.
Mentally disabled. Like they were once a human being, so they just put them in a hospital so they are good. And also like
Okay, so you contradicted yourself. Sorry, then the difference can't be the cognition. The difference can't be the way they think or create things, because I told you that if you trait equalize a human to an animal, it wouldn't be justified to kill it and eat it, and you would want to have mercy on it and on the human and put it in a hospital. So then what's the difference that justifies killing one and not the other? If it's not the way they think, what's the difference then?
but look, like human meat does not taste good because the meat depends on the stress that being lived. And you are as a human, you like have a lot of stress in your life, so the meat will taste like shit.
Okay, so
That's
let
like
me let me ask you
that's
this
why
then.
we
If it was to taste good, let's assume for the sake of argument that human meat tasted good, would it be justified to eat it? To kill a human to eat the meat?
Yeah, but it doesn't taste good, so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing humans to animals. Like I do think there's a hierarchy of value of sentience. I think humans have greater capacity for well-being and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to get at is why do you think animals are so inferior to us morally that it's okay to holocaust them? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Look, us as humans, we build in cities, we build in countries, we have a lot of systems, we have a lot of things in life. Not like, for example, an animal. If you left like a pack of animals like in the wild, they will do nothing. They will just like die by another animal or something like that. So like the
Yeah. So you
capacity.
said build things and stuff like that. Can all humans build things, or do you think there's some humans that don't have that ability?
I don't understand your question specifically.
So you said like humans can build society and create systems and stuff like that. Do all humans have that same capacity?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Most
there.
humans do, yeah.
Oh, no. I didn't ask most humans. So do you agree that there are some humans that don't have that capacity?
Oh yeah, some people are just
Yeah,
literally too
yeah,
stupid.
Sure. There. So
yeah. If he's stupid,
is it justified to kill stupid people?
No,
but
Okay, then.
like if
you
we
don't gotta
compare the
kill them,
IQ,
but some people.
wait. Please could you let me talk. The IQ of a stupid person does not equal like an animal. You will find the stupid one smarter than the animal. You know.
Not necessarily. There are people that are
Uh,
very disabled. I used to work in a psychiatric hospital, and I've seen people that are the only thing they can do basically is just eat, go to the bathroom, and cry for when they're hungry. Stuff like that. Like the
Can an
basically
animal go to the bathroom?
what?
Can an animal go to the bathroom?
No, they don't go to the bathroom on their own. They need a sitter. They need somebody to take them.
yeah, there's people who are mentally not capable enough of doing simple tasks to most people. Like
Sure,
simple tasks to most people
Yeah,
are
yeah.
really
But
hard
like
for them because they can't comprehend.
sure, and you wouldn't say those people that can't comprehend uh, and are in
They
the
all deserve
same.
to live
They deserve to live, right? So what makes an animal lose the right to live, according to your view? Why is it okay to kill and eat one and not the other?
because we are the superior species,
We are the
and
superior
that's how it
species.
goes in the world.
So
Yeah.
if it was the
Wait,
case
so
that
wait, hold on. So is this like a you're vegetarian and why do we eat animals type of thing?
yeah, we're having a discussion on animal ethics. So
Oh
let me
yeah.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. If it was the case that human beings were no longer the superior species, would that make it okay to Holocaust humans and eat them? If we lose our throne in the dominion of the
yeah, but
planet?
there's no one
Yeah.
superior like than
Honestly, yeah.
us.
So it would be
Because
okay
that's how
to.
nature works.
So according to your view, it would be okay to reopen Auschwitz and Holocaust humans for food if we stop being the top species.
Yeah,
If another species did that to us, we're
Yeah,
talking about if another species. Yeah.
not another
Then yeah.
species.
Honestly, yeah.
Not another species. Ourselves. Let's say we're no longer the top
No,
species.
we shouldn't. We shouldn't kill our own race, our own species. Because that's stupid.
Okay. So then the difference is not top species. You contradicted yourself there. The difference there is not top species. The difference is
No,
humanity.
we shouldn't kill ourselves, our own species. But if it's a species that's lower in the ranking of natural selection, then yes, that's how
Sure.
the
So
world works.
okay, then
You
then
see
let
a
me.
lion eat an antelope, not an antelope eat a lion.
Sure. So can I get some clarification? So what you're saying is that the difference that justifies the differential treatment is not that we're in the top. It's that we're from the same species. So in other words, humanity is the morally significant trait here. Is that correct?
I mean, yes, just our species, yeah.
Okay. So how do you define human? Like what makes somebody a human being? I'm asking you for your view
Homo
on this.
sapiens sapiens.
Okay, so if we were to find out that a group of people here on Earth right now that we think are Homo sapiens, it turns out that they have a different lineage than us. It turns out that they are Homo neanderthalis or something like that. They're not Homo sapiens. There's something similar to us. So
The only
they
human
can
species
can
that
I can
is
you let me can you let
here
me
right
finish?
now is
Sorry, can you let me finish?
yeah, sure.
If there was another if we were to discover that there was another sapient species here in the planet with us, that looked like us, acted like us, but we were to discover that they had different DNA from us. They weren't Homo sapiens. Would it be justified to Holocaust and eat them?
bro,
I
you're like
mean, if
saying
there
like a
is
black
Homo
person will eat
sapiens,
the fucking Asian. You know?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying
yeah.
the. he said the difference is species, not race. So I'm not bringing up race here. I'm bringing up species. So let's say there's a different species of sapient being out there. Would it be justified to kill and eat?
No, because we
Depends if
already
they're
have
human or
animals,
not.
you know.
What was that?
I
Would
said
depend if they're human or not.
If it's human, no, you
And
define
plus,
you.
if people like, I wouldn't even eat monkeys because they're basically kind of human. No,
Oh, okay. So then you contradicted yourself once again because you said the difference that justifies
no.
the differential treatment is humanity. I asked you specifically, is the morally significant trait difference humanity? And you said yes. And I asked you what humanity means, and you said Homo sapiens. So I'm asking for an example in which a being
Any type of
is.
any homo species shouldn't be eaten.
Okay, so the only species that we are able to eat are any species that fall outside the genus hominid, like things like gorillas, chimpanzees, humans, bonobos,
Yeah.
orangutans, stuff like that.
For the rest, I think you should eat anything if you needed to.
Can you repeat that?
You should be able to eat any species except any homo species. Like
I
any
think
type of fish, any type of snake if you have to.
I agree with the first part of what you said, that if we're in a survival situation, we might be justified in killing something to eat. But we're not in a survival situation. So let me ask you this: if the difference that justifies the differential treatment is just hominid, it's just being part of a humanoid species, or like a species of Homo, right? Like if we were to find another species in this planet or another planet, whatever, that was sapient, such as us. Let's say they have the capacity to have discussions such as this. They had the capacity to, they have culture, philosophy, blah blah blah. They had science, they had technology, but they weren't human. They different DNA and different. They weren't part of the human of I'm sorry, they weren't part of our genus hominid. Would it be justified to open a holocaust to eat those kinds of beings?
Why would we eat them when we already have things such as cows? And if they're actual, how do you say this? Actually, quote unquote, civilized, and they can speak and they can like actually function as humans, then yeah.
Okay, so you would have a problem then with eating another sapient species. So then the
Because
difference.
they are humanoid. They're
Okay, so
like
okay,
humans.
perfect. So you modified your trait here. So it's no longer just being a biological cousin of us, like the hominids. The difference here is like being sapient. So you said something that I like. Why would we do that if we had something else to eat? So I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Why would we eat animals if we had something else to eat?
Because we've been doing it for so many years. And yes, I get what your point is. I get that, yeah, but like we've been eating animals for so long, it's just like life now.
Sure, but if you were to find that we could be healthy and survive on a plant-based diet, why harm beings that value their own lives and they don't
But
want to suffer?
plants are also living things. So that
Yeah.
doesn't
So do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think there's a morally significant difference between taking an apple and biting the apple, or biting like a dog or a little cat or something?
a cat? Who the fuck eats cats?
Well, there are many cultures that eat foods
Asians
like
are.
dogs and cats. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, my culture eats dogs. I don't because that's horrible because I love dogs.
Okay, but do
And I
you
don't
you
think
you you
pets should
see
be.
you had an emotional reaction. So what I hear is that you do see a difference between eating an apple and eating a dog, right? So what do you think is the difference there that accounts for your reaction, saying that one's wrong and not the other?
Because I really like dogs and dogs are pets and should not be eaten. Cows aren't really pets. You can't just have a cow walking around your fucking house.
Sure, but do you think there's a
And cat and and cows and pigs are not emotionally as how do you say this? Fuck, what's the word? Fuck. What's it called? Holy shit, I'm stupid as fuck. How do you say that?
No worries.
Aren't emotionally, they don't really can like have emotions like dogs do, because cows are not capable of thinking that way.
I mean, do you have any evidence for
You
that
know?
claim? I don't think that, like, I think they are
Yeah,
similar
you can.
enough.
It's a Google search away.
No, I think they are similar enough anatomically for it not to be a symmetry breaker.
Anatomically, is not the same as mentally. Like,
Yeah, so have you heard about the Cambridge Declaration on consciousness? Like the group of scientists that they came to the conclusion that there's no reason for us to believe that other animals like mammalians, even birds and things like that, they are
mm-hmm.
there's enough evidence to suggest that they are sentient. So in other words, they have a capacity for subjective experience. So they can think and feel, they value their own lives. So why harm an animal that has sentience if we can just eat something else like plants?
Okay, that's a good one. I can't lie, you got me there. Okay, fine. That's
So
okay.
would you admit then that being vegan would be morally superior to like a diet like you're consuming right now, where you pay for the harm of other animals?
Mm, I mean, I'm still gonna eat meat no matter what. I don't really.
What
Yeah,
makes you say that?
I get your point though. I get your point.
I mean, I
I
appreciate
understand your point.
I appreciate what you're saying, because I myself, from a culture of meat eaters too. I was raised eating meat, and I said the same thing originally. I said like I could never go vegan and stuff like that. But I think that's something every vegan says at some point, and one day we come to the conclusion that like we just don't want to be hypocrites anymore. If we are against suffering and exploitation, why would we pay for it? So let me ask you this: what would be your biggest obstacle towards becoming vegan?
I work in a restaurant. I can't really be like I'm around meat all day. I have to taste it to make sure it's good. You know what I mean? It's not like I can't.
Okay, so
Basically, my
if
fucking job.
so, are you saying that is it literally impossible for you to go vegan, or are you saying that it
Basically, I'd
would be
probably lose my job
inconvenient?
because
So, can you bring
it'd
food from
be
outside your job?
really, really hard. I mean, outside my job, I don't eat much meat outside of my job in general because I don't really need it. I eat meat like once or twice a week.
So let me ask you this: if you were to find out that it was not only possible but practicable for you to go vegan, would you see that as a moral obligation to stop paying for the murder of animals if you can easily, maybe not
If I
not.
could, like, not
Mhm.
looking at my situation, if I could, oh yeah, probably. If it doesn't cause me any health problems, yeah, totally. If I could
Okay,
find
so
replacements for
what
certain
what
stuff.
what what kind of health problems are you afraid you might get from consuming a plant-based diet?
Mostly, seeing as your body needs, I mean needs some type of red blood cells that you get out of red meats like veal, etc., and
Yeah,
the
I
protein
don't
because
think.
getting like animal protein for your muscles, which is the best protein you can get. Like plant based protein works, but not as good as like animal based protein. Know what I mean?
Do you have any evidence
Yeah,
for
yeah,
those
facts.
claims? I think that's not true. If you were to look up the Academy of Nutrition, there's the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, which is the largest organization of nutrition experts in the planet. They came to the conclusion, and they released a peer-reviewed statement concluding that plant-based diet are not only nutritionally adequate throughout all stages of the life cycle, including pregnancy, infancy, and even for athletes, for adult athletes. Not only is it nutritionally adequate, but it provides many health benefits, and as long as you're consuming a well-balanced diet, you won't have any problem finding protein, like all the essential amino acids that you need to survive.
Oh no,
And
listen, I'll find.
Mhm.
I mean, but it's easier to get your all nine of the amino acids that you need out of like stuff like what's a fucking example like eggs, fish, red meat, chicken, all that. It's way easier to get it out of that than all these plants. I can eat a piece of chicken and it'd be like
not,
the same
not
as me eating
necessarily.
a lot of fucking whatever the fuck.
Not necessarily. That's a claim I heard. That's a claim I heard earlier, but that's not actually true. As long as you're consuming enough protein, enough calories, you won't have any trouble like meeting your protein requirements. Like there's many plants with a high profile of
Yeah,
protein.
see,
There's like
that's the
beans,
problem.
lentils, legumes, like mock meats like tofu, seitan. They're like very packed in protein. So even as an athlete, I don't think you would find any trouble consuming protein. So let me ask you this: if it was the case that if it
Plus,
was
the problem is
practical,
like if I would, I don't like beans. Beans are really easy
Yeah.
to get protein out of. I know it's like I think it's like what was it, like 20 grams of protein per 100 grams, if I'm not wrong. But like I don't like
Like
beans.
100 grams of chicken is 27 grams of protein.
yeah, you just look it
Yeah,
up.
and
Like
that's why I'm like,
look up what something like seitan contains from protein. It even has more protein than steak. It's the protein of the of wheat.
but I don't. Seitan's not. I've had it. It's not that good. I don't like.
So let me ask you this:
It's,
what do you mean? What do you mean it's not good? Like, are you saying that
I don't
taste
like it. It
pleasure?
doesn't taste good.
So are you saying
The
that
taste
taste
is not the
pleasure?
same. I'd rather eat a steak.
Can I ask something? Uh, would you say
Yeah.
that taste pleasure justifies violence then?
I mean violence.
Yeah,
What do you
like
mean violence? I mean
does
you get killed. But
sure is that, but if I were to kill another human, would that be violence?
I mean it's another human. Yes.
Okay, if I were to kill a dog or a cat, would that be violence?
I mean yeah, kind of.
Sure. So would you
I mean,
admit
see, I
from
get
the?
what you're trying to say, but like,
I'm just saying that from the perspective of the victim, that they want to live and not feel pain, and like they wanna live. You're robbing them of future experience. I see that as violence, whether it's a cat or a cow. So
mhm,
yeah. Does this make sense for you? Like, would you say
mhm,
veganism is morally superior to your current diet?
mhm.
So
I mean, superior. It's bad to kill it. I mean, I get it. It's bad to kill animals. Sure, it's bad to. I mean, is it bad to eat them necessarily? Uh, I guess, but like that's why mostly if I can buy meat, I'll buy halal meat because they don't suffer that much because they're just instantly dead,
yeah, I
which
think
is
it's
still like
still
die.
like yeah that you're still robbing them of the potential for future well-being. Like they want to live, they don't want to die
What
young.
what
Like
what they can do in the future? What they can do, for example?
Yeah, that's like
what do
that's
you
what I was
mean
gonna say
what
that
they?
too. What can they?
I
Give
mean
me something that they
What is
can.
one cow gonna do?
okay, what can an intellectually disabled human do? Does that justify murdering it?
No, but like,
I
can you
mean,
eat that
they can
disabled
still
human?
like think
Can you eat it?
for themselves.
Okay,
Sure, and not good.
animals can still think for themselves too.
So are you
Like,
gonna
if you
say
see
a cow and a mentally disabled human is gonna think the same?
What I'm doing is uh, I'm equalizing the traits. So there are certain humans that exist right now that you couldn't tell by their behavior. You couldn't tell any difference in cognition from him and a cow. Like for example, somebody that
I mean,
you know.
if they're
Mhm.
really that like disabled, then there's not really a point of them living. It sounds cruel, but it's just it is like that. And you can't really tell me I'm wrong because what can
So
they possibly do in their life?
yeah, so
It's
But
they
they can.
sad.
can I can ask that I can answer that. So they can you can give them a quality of life by taking care of them. They can have fun. They can like love other people like animals, like pets, right? So they can they enjoy certain activities. They can you know like enjoy food and like sleep. Like all of these things that cause certain basic forms of pleasure. Maybe it's not the same amount of pleasure as you know a human with higher cognition would achieve, but it's still an overall like it comes down to overall well-being. If
So why, like, for example, a carnivore animal would eat like an animal? So why does he not like eat plant?
I mean, like the difference there is that they don't really have a choice. That they're not moral agents, so they can't tell right from wrong like we
Uh,
do. And in many cases they're obligate carnivores, so they need to eat other animals to survive. That's not the case for humans. Anyway, I think I'm gonna ask you guys
some
one.
animals, like
Sure.
bears, can eat plants if they want to,
Yeah,
but they
why they
don't. They
don't?
don't.
Sure, and they don't have the capacity to reason and choose for themselves like we do. Like we have the alternatives, we have the
Yo, so
capacity.
so so that
we,
means
we
like
have can
animals
I
are
can I
dumb.
finish can I finish sorry.
Yeah, yeah, go on,
they
go on,
they
go on.
have they have a capacity. We have a capacity for moral agency. We have the capacity to look at what we're doing and saying, you know what, I'm gonna do the more compassionate thing. Like animals like bears and stuff like that, omnivorous animals, they don't really have that same capacity as we do. So why, if we have the choice, if we have moral agency, we can tell right from wrong, and we see that what we are currently doing is not very ethical. Why not choose the more compassionate option and just leave animals alone and not murder them needlessly?
But what are the benefits? Like let's say for example I will turn vegan. What benefits I can get? The
Okay, so
difference.
sure. So number one, you would no longer be supporting a Holocaust with your money. So that's the most important
Yeah, yeah, but the
reason
money
to go
that
vegan
will
for me.
go, look, like the money that would go like on meat, it would go in plants. So like it's the same thing.
It's not the same thing because you wouldn't be supporting a Holocaust anymore.
Okay, like I want like some health benefit, so something like that can really benefit me. Like I will feel like change.
I mean, I don't think that's really the priority here. Like, if you were to get some health benefits from eating humans, would you kill and eat humans?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Honestly,
you don't. I don't share that
honestly, I
view.
mean, if it had good benefits, really good benefits, if it gives me like superpowers or something, fuck yeah.
Yeah, of
No,
course.
let's say
Well,
it was marginally. Let's just say it was marginally better benefits. Let's say it was the difference between a very good health and like optimal health. Would you Holocaust
Oh yeah,
humans?
fuck yeah.
Okay, then I
Honestly, if I got absolutely jacked because of that, fuck yes.
okay, I think that's just psychotic. That's the fundamental value difference there. Anyway, but that's not the case. Like a plant-based diet are nutritionally adequate, so I think like we can be healthy, we can survive. There's many health benefits. So why the hell continue to pay for murder when we can just eat plants?
like there's no difference. Like you will go on in your life. Like there's no like you will get something special, something like that.
I mean, the something special. What do you mean?
Like I don't think like if it gives you like pure I don't have an example for it, but
Sure, I think
like pure a true benefit, something that you should like, when you hear it, you're gonna immediately want to like change to like a vegan diet, because like I see it right now, like it's the same thing, nothing will change.
Sure, like I think there's other people in here that can tell you some of the health benefits, but I'm just interested in the morality. So, would you
I
admit
mean,
that
it's
at least on at best we by going vegan you would be no longer supporting a Holocaust, and the benefit in that sense is just to be a better person morally, and in other words,
Who said that I
can
support
I
the
can I can
Holocaust?
I ask can I get my
What?
thoughts out? Sorry, like what I was trying to say, can you at least admit that on at least you would be choosing something more compassionate by eating plants and not paying for a Holocaust?
Wait for a second. But like, who said like in the Holocaust? Like, I just
I mean,
consume the food. I'm not the one who kills it.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, that's like putting the Jews in like Auschwitz, taking their money, and then you getting the money.
I don't know if
In
somebody asked for the definition of Holocaust. Holocaust just means slaughter and destruction on a mass scale. So, like, do you guys agree that being vegan is a very easy way to no longer support the right violations of animals, to no longer support a Holocaust? Would you guys admit
Yeah,
that?
but who cares about the animal? You know?
I mean, I care about the animals. Why wouldn't I care about sentient beings that want to live and they don't want to be fucking tortured and killed? Why wouldn't I care about that?
Yeah,
But they
like,
don't know about that. It's not
yeah,
like
they
they
don't know.
realize.
I mean,
Yeah, they realize when
it doesn't really matter to
They're
me
just really not.
if there was intellectually disabled humans that couldn't really comprehend what we were doing to them. I don't think it would be justified
Yeah,
to
but a
Holocaust them.
disabled human is 70 IQ, like between 70 and 75 IQ.
Sure. So
yeah,
let me
I
ask
mean,
you.
for
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no problem. So, like for example, when you have a 3-year-old child, they have the same cognitive abilities as a pig, like they're on the same level. So I don't think it would be
But
justified to do it to toddlers.
I mean,
So I don't
yeah,
think it's
but
justified to do
when
it.
that when the pig gonna grow
But
up, does he gonna like have the same abilities as the child?
no,
Well,
that's what I'm gonna
no,
say.
So
Like the kid's gonna grow
but
up to become smarter, more conscious.
But
yeah,
even
The pig's
even
not.
if the kid wouldn't, like there are some people who don't develop past a certain age, even if they would always be at the age of 3, I would not think it's okay to harm them or kill them.
I agree with that. So, and let me get
If
one
you're not
more
gonna do
question.
anything,
I don't already pig or
Let me ask you guys one more question, and then I let other people talk. Like
no,
you have a choice. The number one, it's going vegan. Number two is abusing animals. What's the better choice?
abusing animals.
Okay, that's fucking psychotic, man. Like I disagree.
I love
Like
how she just said it instantly.
anyway, are there any people here that know about the health benefits, the nutrition side of veganism, or anybody else that wants
I
to talk?
mean, the only thing, like, you get less fat. It's hard to get fat intake.
Yeah,
Like
but like
genuine
if you
fat.
like work out at least one time a week, you will not get fat. You know, if you like watch your diet, you're not going to get fat.
Oh no, I work out
Because
every day.
Well,
yeah,
I
but
know
like
that.
fat is like calories that you did not burn. You know, they go as
Not
fat.
fighting, baby.
So if you don't work out,
I
you're
know.
gonna get fat.
Oh no, I'm talking about like fat from like, if you're just a vegan, you're not gonna get enough fat intake.
Ah, yeah.
Well,
Fat intake is important for the hormones, by the way.
you can get enough fat, but I mean, as far as I know, the health benefits is
Okay,
like
please give me an example. What do you get fat out of?
everything with oil,
Yeah,
the
but oil
stuff
have
like
a lot of
avocado.
calories.
What?
Oil have a lot of calories. Oil.
I mean, nuts,
Yeah.
seeds, things like nuts, seeds, avocado, they have oil and fat in them. What do you mean?
Like oil have a lot of calories. Like a 1 tablespoon of oil is.
Yeah, but you can get, I mean, fat in avocado, for example, coconut.
Avocado also
I
have
think it's,
200 calories.
I mean, yeah, but you also need to put more calories. Like it doesn't necessarily have more calories than meat, or like what do you mean? I don't
Yeah,
really
like
see.
what? Like let's see. Like for example, like a 100 grams of chicken, it's 200 calories, and you can get 27 grams of protein, and you can get some fats from it.
Yeah, well, you can get protein, like I said, like we said before, from beans, from tofu, from seitan, or whatever. I don't really know how to pronounce it right
But
now.
they're
But like,
also bad.
but like
They
not
just
the
taste
same
bad too.
amount, you know. Like for
Well,
example, like salmon have a lot of protein, chicken have a lot of protein. You know, it's hard to get at like in the exact amount. So let's say if you are a bodybuilder, it will be so hard to get you enough protein in your daily
well,
intake.
I mean, there are a lot of vegan bodybuilders as well, so I mean, it's not
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
see,
like
the
you
problem
can
with
do
that is the vegan alternatives are mostly like bad. Like I've had a lot of them, and
Yeah.
they're like all just
Yeah, but then
They
we're
don't
back at
taste as
pleasure.
good.
Like that's just preference of taste. Like that's still pleasure. Like it's not the health side of it. Because you can be healthy, like you can also be a bodybuilder and you can also be an athlete
Yeah,
if
but
you
it
want
will
to
Can you
be
be.
please
easier
name
if
me
you're
one
not vegan.
vegan
So
or
what's the point?
Can you please name me one vegan bodybuilder?
Easy,
Yeah,
man.
I
Just
can.
Just
watch.
looking it up.
Just
Yeah.
just watch.
Someone like, for example, like
Sorry,
C-Bob, you know, someone is
sorry,
like an
sorry,
insane,
sorry,
you know.
sorry. He
Name
asked the
me.
question. He asked the question. Let me answer. Like you just look up the documentary Game Changers. This full of vegan athletes. What are you talking about?
Okay, can you tell
Yeah.
me somebody that is like top 100 in the world that's vegan?
I will look up
Top 100
who's the top
bodybuilder.
Patrick
Wait.
Yeah,
Boubomian.
there was
Yeah, I have a few bodybuilders here,
Because
but I
like
don't know about in the top
Look up
100, right?
look up Patrick Boubomian. He's one of the strongest men on earth, and he's a vegan.
the only one that is in my sector, like my section of shit I do, that is vegan. That is not vegan, but has done vegan, like the vegan diet for like a while, was Nate Diaz, and that's the only one.
Well, there's also uh, uh, Tara Washington. But I don't know if he's in the top 100. I don't know. For example, and there's like, but I think he's just popular in my country. But Patrick Bobanian, I don't know if I'm mispronouncing his name, but yeah, I can like send you a photo. But I follow some of them on Instagram. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, there was one
there's
who
no
was
top fighters in the
yeah,
world
no,
that
there
are
was one.
vegan.
There was
Yeah.
one who was named the strongest man of Germany, at least. But I don't know if there's like if he's popular in other countries and he's vegan.
There's
Mm.
only one UFC fighter that is kind of known that is vegan, and that's Nate Diaz, and he's not that good and looks pretty bad, like
Well,
physically.
there's some. Wait, I
Only
don't know what
2%
is it
of the
one?
population is vegan, so we can't extrapolate a lot of examples. If more
Exactly.
percentage of the population was vegan, then there would be lots more vegan bodybuilders.
Yeah, but there are already pretty like
Yeah, but
there's
they're not
already.
like they're not like competing like in high, you know.
uh,
Like they're not even in top 100, and you expect like they will become like new people and they will be great. So like, and also like
Oh,
there's no point like if you change your diet, you know, it's the same thing, you know. And also the gains with the non-vegan diet will be easier because like you can eat like a low volume food and still get your macros, you know.
Those are just unsubstantiated claims. You have no evidence for what you're saying right now.
Like, okay,
Yeah,
but can you
but
please tell
we
me
can
why
take
there's
go on.
why is there no top tier UFC fighters that are vegan that
Dude,
look
dude,
good?
dude, dude. Do you admit that there's a minority of vegans in the world?
Mm-hmm.
Then
If
why
that
would you
diet
expect
was so
why?
good for you, why is there no UFC fighters that are vegan?
Okay, because
There's
there's
so many, and there's
do you admit that there's a minority of vegans worldwide?
for a good reason. Yeah.
Not for good reasons, just because the moral philosophy hasn't spread enough. Like at some
I
point
mean,
there was.
everybody knows about vegans.
I mean, we're still a minority. So how would we be in the top of the bodybuilding game if it's just not enough vegans?
You're not.
Like I'm sure if the world was vegan, that it would be full of bodybuilders in the top.
It's just not true.
well,
even though we
Just
make up like 1%, vegans make up 1%. There's still so many on top. So that's kind of a great thing to begin with.
well, there's a lot of
exactly.
MMA fighters that are vegan, but I don't know if they're
Okay,
like
no. I
Yeah,
said
and
let's see what ones.
there's a recent
Please tell me
UK
what ones are.
powerlifter. She broke the record for powerlifting, and she's vegan.
Okay, Julia, you said MMA fighters? That's funny because I was talking about that. Like, what ones are? Please tell me. I know Nate Diaz.
uh,
That's it.
Nate Diaz, James
That's what I
Wilkes,
just
David
said.
Hay,
Who?
Marcus
David
Berg.
Haye, yeah.
Who are those? I keep up with UFC and I've never heard those names.
Hey dude, like just look up the vegan documentary Game Changers. It's full of vegan athletes and bodybuilders. You can see it for yourself.
Yeah, but they're not at top. What's the point? It's not being
And most of them don't
controlled.
really look good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like their physiques are not it. I would
Yeah,
not want to
plus
walk around like that.
if we like for example take like two diets, for a bodybuilder, one's a vegan and one not vegan. You will see like the vegan one eats a lot of meal, so he can take
Bro.
like his protein and his calories. So you will eat more. And that sucks. Like there's
Like,
people that can't
okay,
eat more.
listen.
Okay, but that
I
doesn't
just looked it up.
justify slitting an animal's throat for it just because you have it to eat a little more.
I mean, it's mostly the animals I eat get killed instantly without feeling anything. But okay,
Well,
I was
that's
looking up
not true.
vegan UFC fighters. Yeah, no, that's why I only buy halal meat. But okay, there's these. I'm looking at vegan UFC fighters. I'm looking them up, and they all look horrible. Their physique looks shit. Way too fucking lean. Like they haven't ate in years.
I think you're just looking for excuses, dude. So let me ask you this: Does a bit of
Look it up.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Does a bit of extra muscle justify a Holocaust?
Yes, for me,
Oh,
yeah, totally.
oh yeah, that's
It's
insane.
my sport. It's what I do. It's what I do. Yeah.
And this shouldn't even be about building muscle, but building your mental strength.
What? What would you
Yeah,
say?
you should aim as well as being a bodybuilder. If whatever you want, you should aim to be a good person as well. Why be an asshole to animals if you can avoid that?
Oh no, I don't need to be a good person to be successful in the world. Nice people
Yeah.
don't get successful.
Actually, I
Look at
would
all the
disagree with that. If you've ever heard
Bro,
about
there's a
stoicism,
lot of
world.
big heads that are right now billionaires and billionaires.
Exactly, bro. Look at Bill Gates. He's a bitch. Look at Elon Musk. He's a bitch too.
Yeah.
Like they're bad, good people, but they're rich. They're successful. They have a lot of money. You don't have to be a nice person to become successful. No, you just need to have a good mentality.
Yeah, but you should still be a nice person because you would want other people to be nice to you as
I'm
well.
not saying I'm not a bad person. Like I'm nice to people, just to people I like. Otherwise, I'm a bitch. You know?
Well,
Yeah.
well, it depends on why you don't like those other people.
Because you're mostly really annoying.
Yeah, like you actually like prefer money than people.
Yeah, I prefer money over people any day. I have nobody I should care about.
Yeah.
No family.
Yeah, well, you
nothing.
don't have to lose money to go vegan.
I'd rather
That's the good thing.
I'd choose money over any person on the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to lose money in order to like care about animals and not eat them and so on. That doesn't make you lose money, any money.
I don't.
But I have a question.
Yeah,
Like, do you have any
I don't want to
argument
lie.
besides animals?
Hmm?
Because like
To
every
what?
vegan I talk about, he's talking about hurting animals. Do you have like something else?
Of course, there's environment, there's a potential for pandemics, there's health. What there's not just like the moral reasons is the most important
Okay,
for
go with
us
the health
because
one. Go with the health one.
sure, I'm just saying the moral principles are the most important to us because we're ethical. We are veganism is an ethical philosophy, but there's many reasons to adopt a plant-based diet beside just helping reduce rights violation to animals.
The only reason people go on a vegan diet for a while is probably to lose weight. That's the
Yeah.
only actual benefit I see.
Well, I mean, I think it's wait. I mean, there are some studies that say like that you can have a lower chance, a lower risk of heart disease and cancers.
No,
But
that's only if you eat too much of red meat.
yeah, I'm not too skilled in the plant-based field, but it's in the health field. But the thing is like that it's at least not less healthy than a non-vegan diet. That's for sure. Like that's been
The best
documented.
the healthiest diet you can have is a mix. Not eat too much meat, but you should still eat meat just to get like protein and fats and amino acids, all that. It's just the best diet. You can look it up. It's by every dietist in the world. They'll all tell you the same.
That's
Well,
not true.
all the biggest
best
health
thing for you.
organizations say that like having a plant-based diet is not what?
It's not bad. No, it's not bad. Having a plant-based diet is not bad, but the best one you could have for an average person is eat a bit of meat, mostly like white meat, avoid like chicken or like poultry. Just avoid most red
Ew.
meats, and,
Wait.
you know. Or fish.
Well,
You can eat fish, chicken. That's
I
like
wouldn't say
more
it's the best.
No, wait,
Like
Wait,
I
wait,
said, like I
just
said,
I think I lost brain cells.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, as I said, I didn't catch the entire conversation, but when I heard that person say that they are complacent with harming others if it means them becoming successful, that was really sad to hear.
Yeah, man. Like that's a way to demonstrate that veganism like makes sense. Just getting people into a ridiculous what do you call it, like reductio, like that, just admitting the kinds of things that they would support. Like,
Yeah,
it saddens me that there are humans like that who just value their own superficial bullshit more than the lives of animals.
yeah, I'm starting to consider whether this is good for my mental health because, like, when I hear these non-vegans, certain non-vegan, it seems like most non-vegans um, are similar to that person, or at least on this Discord.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's I think there's something called like vegan dystopian syndrome or something like that. It's just realizing how a bunch of assholes most people are to animals, and it can have an effect to your mental health. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's very intriguing. I never heard about that term before.
Yeah, like it's called vegan dystopia, something like that. You can look it up.
Oh, maybe there's a Wikipedia article for it, like it's a official thing on the Wikipedia.
Oh, there's an article about it.
But what was it again? Vegan dystopian disorder.
Uh, Sorry, I'm not. I don't remember correctly. It was vegan dystopia something like that. Let me see if I can
Oh,
find it.
dystopia, I think.
Okay, I found it. It's called dystopia, like with the V of veganism and then like dystopia instead of a D, a like V.
Yeah, I see it's a portmanteau of vegan plus dystopia.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I don't like to read that kind of stuff though because I don't want to dishearten myself. I want to have the mental strength to keep doing activism.
yeah, man. Like yeah, we gotta just reassure ourselves that we're doing the right thing. At the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter if the whole world supports crazy immoral stuff. Like I can feel good in my heart that we are doing the right thing as vegan advocates.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how vegans have such the mental strength to keep living in a non-vegan world as a vegan and keep doing activism.
Yeah, I agree, man. By the way, I'm gonna ask you something. I hope it's cool. I was recording the conversation that we were having earlier with those carnists. Do you think there's any problem with that?
Oh no, you can record my voice if you want. I give you permission. But you mean like, do you think that the conversation gives a bad impression about vegans?
No, I don't think that at all. I think we definitely won the argument there. Like we reduced their position into absolute, psychoticness. I think
Oh, did you record the one that we had now?
yeah, I recorded the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think I might post that in my YouTube. It was a good combo. If you have, do you have any problem with that? If I upload it?
No, it's totally fine. I didn't really speak. Um,
Yeah. So do you want to take whatever person comes next?
um, I think there was another person that still had to go, which was um, Jack. Oh wait, they left, and I don't know how much tips has went, but yeah, I'll take the next person.
Okay, cool, man. Do any other vegans are coming, or they stayed behind?
Yeah, Julia seems to be really perseverant or something. um, when who were you with her earlier?
What was that?
Oh no, I think it was somebody else. No, remember when we started Discord outreach and we had two groups? Were you with her originally?
No, I got here late.
Oh, wait, you were with yeah, yeah, you came later.
Yeah.
Yeah, the person that was with her said that um, they left because they sensed that the person she was talking to wouldn't go vegan, but Julia still stayed and talked to them for longer. So she seemed really perseverant.
Yeah, like I think when I ask something like, would you rather go vegan or support animal abuse, and they choose supporting animal abuse, I think the conversation is over. Like it just goes to show that they have different values than me. I think that's crazy. I
Yes,
don't
you
think
can
yeah, like I don't
develop
think
that
there's
acumen.
exactly. I don't think there's much else I could do there. Like if they really don't care about animal suffering, then I did my job in trying to, spread the message.
It was discussed yesterday how one of the people we were talking to like ate bacon in front of us on their face cam.
Oh, how
That
original.
really that made me luck leave because when I see bacon, I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure you're the same. Like when you see, I don't know if you live in a household where your parents are non-vegan.
No, luckily not. I just live with my non with my sorry with my vegan girlfriend. So thank God for that.
Oh, that's based. Yeah, and when you see animal flesh or secretions, it's really, you don't see it as how we used to see it when you were non-vegan. You see it as dismembered body parts.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I just see a corpse. I just see somebody that wanted to live and it got his life terminated for no fucking reason. Yeah, that's yeah.
It's really interesting how that happens to us.
Yeah, like in like the grocery store when I walk up to the meat aisle, I just see a cemetery there.
Yes.
It's
So that
really
just
sad.
proves that we've been heavily conditioned.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very liberating to break out of the conditioning.
Hell yeah, man. It's I love it. I love that. I regret that I didn't do it earlier. That's my only regret.
Yes, every vegan's regret.
Yeah, I was 20 when I first went vegan, and I'm 26 now. What about you?
I went vegan 2 years ago and was 18 because I'm 20 currently. I think maybe another vegan might have sent me Dominion. I actually really wonder who made me go vegan because I think I watched Dominion, but I don't know where I watched Dominion from. I don't know if I got it in my YouTube recommendations or a vegan sent it to me because I was debating a vegan because I was angry because they were making me feel guilty.
Okay, but at least you did the right thing, man. Like, good for you. You went vegan at 18. That's 2 years earlier than me. So good job.
Yes. Although some people hear about veganism at different times, some people only hear about it late into their life because, um, like, somebody might have only heard about veganism at 40 because um, only then was veganism popular.
Exactly.
Because I
Yeah.
know like 30 years ago it was not popular at all. I mean, I've heard about vegans that have been vegan for 30 years on the server. I see some people with like 30 years plus vegan as their role.
Wow, that's amazing. That's my goal there. Being vegan for my whole life.
Oh, yes, we've yet to see one with 100 years.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yes. Greetings.
Hi.
How's it going?
Not bad.
What are you playing? Just shapes and beats.
Yeah, boy.
That's interesting. So, may I ask you a random question?
What's that?
What would you do if your neighbor started eating dogs all of a sudden?
I'll be like, do you, bro?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Lol.
You do you, bro.
Lol.
So I wonder if he's consistent with that, and if his neighbor killed and ate him, he would be cool with that as well.
So my big question is whether or not most people in the world are like that guy that we just encountered, or most of the world are actually vegan at heart. That's my biggest question
Yeah,
with
yeah,
regards to
yeah.
veganism.
That's a big question as well for me. Like the question of whether like the values of most people align with veganism, like or like because I think there are a bit of everything. Like, there's people that are just ignorant, and if they learned about this, they would go okay.
What's
Hello.
up? Potato peeler.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should change that.
So do you like peeling potatoes?
How, no, no, I don't. I don't know how
Okay.
to spell. How do you spell amateur?
Amateur. I think. No, I think it's the E and the U.
There you go.
Am I correct, Terry?
I just changed it. It's correct.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's
correct.
good. Yeah. I want to ask you a random question if that's fine.
Huh?
May I ask you a random question if that's fine?
Fun? Or
Fine. Yeah.
Okay.
What would you do if your neighbor started eating dogs all of a sudden?
Nothing. Isn't it just fine?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't kick a dog, right? Unnecessarily, right? So, what if your neighbor started eating dogs unnecessarily? Wouldn't you want to be somebody who calls the police on them to bring justice to the dogs that they are eating?
Needs to be a little bit more specific. What the fuck are they doing to the dogs? Are they torturing the dogs? Are they like
I mean,
killing them themselves, or are they ordering like the meat from some sort of a, I don't know, dog meat dealer?
yeah, dog meat dealer. And the dog meat dealer tortures the dogs before they are delivered to their doorstep where they eat them.
Yeah, so they're buying this meat knowing that the dogs are being tortured.
Yes. Do you
Well,
think that's immoral?
obviously, obviously it's immoral.
What if we swap the dog for a cow? Do you think the answer would be any different?
It's different because we're used to it, but also we don't torture the cows. We just kill them outright.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if suffering is the correct term. I know that we do cause suffering to them, though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think
Not so
that
great.
do you think that it's necessary to eat cows in 2022?
No, I mean, eating meat is necessary because it's like it's kind of we're used to it. We need the shit that's inside the meat, but I guess we can make meat like what I forgot the word.
Well,
Redundant or something. It's basically you can. Have you seen that fucking Mark Robert video?
nah. You can
Man,
send it to me if you like.
it's just a fucking. No, it's not even the Mark Robert video. There's just some dudes going around showing people that, or just like that mini documentary about how you can make meat from plants. And yeah, I guess they're trying to make it mainstream, but yeah.
Yeah, I know you can make meat from plants using vital wheat gluten to make seitan, which is actually very high in protein. It has 75 grams of protein per 100 grams, which is more than steak, I believe. So that's pretty poggers, I guess. Metal enjoyer. Interesting. We were just talking about plant-based meat.
What does that have to do with metal?
What's up,
I don't know.
Miller?
No, before you joined.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Long time no see, Miller.
Yes, Eunice.
You alright?
Yeah, and I see you haven't been playing Osu recently.
I
Why?
have
It's
been.
been almost a month.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I get bored. I just do
Osu's the
nothing.
perfect game for when you're bored.
No, I mean I get bored of games.
That's fair, I get the same.
Why'd you come off?
Because I just joined this VC.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll turn mine on.
Did you get a new camera?
No. No new camera.
Is too big a VC. What were you saying earlier about whether or not most of the population is sticking their heads in the ground, or whether they I can't remember what I was saying. Or whether they genuinely care about animals.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like the thing is, that's the question. Like if if people are just ignorant and in truth they have values that align with with veganism, or if they're just psychopaths that don't care about animals. I think there's a bit of both. There's people that have those values and they're just waiting to learn about the message that you can be fine on a plant-based diet, and then there's people that just don't care, just dead inside and psychopaths towards animals. What do you think? Are there more people that are just ignorant, or do you think there are just more people that are just they don't care at all?
Yeah, so most of the people that I've encountered in my activism journeys, which hasn't been for a long time, are people who are ignorant, but that is not a true reflection of the world, like the majority of the population of the world. But yeah, I don't know then. Because
Yeah, I think
it would be a logical fallacy to it would be empirical evidence,
exactly. Yeah, there's just
insufficient empirical evidence.
there's just not enough data about it. But I think from my experience, there are three kinds of people. There are people that are just ignorant about it, and actually at heart they're good people that would go vegan when presented with the information. Number two, there are like assholes, and number three, there are like people that are just too stupid to even understand what we're talking about.
Oh, that's interesting. The third one.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's that I don't know if you saw that little girl that was in one of the earlier groups that she said that Jeffrey Dahmer was hot. I think that's pure stupidity at there, right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're 26, so you're born in a different generation from me. I think I'm born in the same generation as these guys that you see commonly on Discord. Um, and I don't think I like them.
Yeah.
I don't know the majority of them.
And what do you think about that? There's so much stupidity in your generation.
Yes, it would seem like that. Although I don't like to use the term stupid because isn't it like kind of ableist? Come to realize it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I wouldn't ever insult a person that is intellectually disabled, but I don't think there's anything wrong with insulting people that could do better. They have the capacity to understand these things, but they just are, you know, too lazy to even bother thinking, you know, even considering important ethical dilemmas like this.
Yeah, that's fair because like that's most people's definition of stupid. They don't mean stupid as in like mentally disabled. They mean you're not thinking hard enough.
Exactly. So yeah, I would never like insult somebody just based on their IQ or something like that. But you know, if somebody's just choosing to be stupid, then that's worthy of insulting, in my view.
Yes, I agree. I
Hey, so what
suppose.
what's up, Pa? Are you vegan?
Wait, what did you ask? I didn't catch the first few words.
Is this other person in the chat right now vegan?
Oh, so that's just a Discord glitch. It's actually just the two of us.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
If you want to fix it, you can use the keybound Control R, but it's not necessary.
Okay,
It'll
that's cool.
restart your Discord. So like everything will have to load again, I guess.
No, it's cool. I thought it was another person.
Oh, but yes, if the majority of the world is people who are just pure assholes, then I guess we gotta send in a nuke or something.
That's a good question, actually. Do you think that would be justified? Like, for example, I think to end slavery in the United States, that there had to be like a civil war, right? So, do you think a war would be justified to turn the world vegan?
Yeah, maybe. I just like don't know if like there would be only 2% of the vegans, 2% of the world is vegan, so 2% of the population would versus 98% of the population.
Yeah, I guess if it was more like half and half, right? Like the north of the United States versus the south. But yeah, we're just like we don't have a chance. We're a minority. But I honestly think that the world is gonna go vegan soon, eventually, and the you know the sad part is I think it's gonna be less because of the ethics and more just because of technology. We're just gonna develop newer technologies to make plant based foods and stuff that already exists, right? Like Impossible and stuff like that. That and lab grown meat is another thing that they're working on right now. So I think when once meat is like irrelevant, like or like it's equally stupid to continue murdering animals as it would be to travel on horse when you can just get a car, then I think that's when it will happen.
Astrixum. What's up?
Astrixum, can you hear us?
I can.
Yeah. So, may I ask you a random question that I like to ask everybody?
Sure.
What do you think you would do if your neighbor started eating dogs all of a sudden?
Eating dogs?
Yes.
Well, most of the time, the couple, my neighbors, usually have sex, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay. Yo, what's up, MCMV?
What's up, son?
Not much so far on you.
Just chilling. About to play some fucking horror game.
Good luck. What
I
horror
know.
game?
Phasmophobia.
Oh, that's a based horror game.
What'd you say? I don't know what you said.
That's a based horror game.
It's funny. It's a
Yes.
funny horror game when you play with friends. And I'm gonna probably play with my cousin. He doesn't know shit, so I'm just gonna leave him to die.
Oh, that's gruesome.
What
It's
did
funny.
you say, that the game contains homophobia? Is that what you said?
No, the game's name is Phasmophobia.
Sorry.
It sounded like it for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just asking Astrixum what they would do if their neighbors started eating dogs all of a sudden. But they gave me a weird response. So how's your response? What do you think you would do if your neighbors started doing that all of a sudden?
Well, my neighbor started eating what? A dog?
Dogs. Yes.
I'd fucking run away, dude. The fuck? If they start eating dogs, they might as well eat humans after. Like, come on now.
I wouldn't be surprised, I suppose.
Exactly. So I would fucking dip.
Wouldn't you want to save that dog? Like
That
you
dog is
can run
dead.
away with the dog.
You said neighbors, my guy. I'm alone. You said neighbors and multiple people. They would eat me alive. You can't save that dog on your own.
Would you call the police on that neighbor?
Yeah, obviously, but I'd fucking
That's
run
good.
away.
Then maybe I should have been more clear. What if they started eating cows instead?
Cows? Like raw cows? Fuck no, that's weird as shit. But like, I guess.
Hello.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
I'm scared. I'm terrified.
Why?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna mute this person if she keeps doing this here.
Whoa,
I
stop.
did the same. It feels
Thank you.
much more peaceful now.
Stop. Please
What?
don't leave me. I didn't do
It feels much more peaceful now because that was creeping me out, to be honest.
I didn't even say anything. I just said.
Anyway,
Maybe-
I muted those idiots. You wanna go to another place? Sun Hero, where should we move next? It's full of trolls now. Okay,
I still want to talk to MC. Oh, they left.
I think he was trolling too. He started playing a sound or something.
Oh, I didn't hear that, but if they did, then yeah.
Yeah, he just started playing a sound. He sounded like he was reasonable there. He was giving reasonable answers, but then he started playing like a weird sound or something.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm going to like make a note now that we should consider going to debate servers instead, because I think that would be far more productive. Then we could finally get some fun people to debate against.
Hell yeah! Do you know that there's a vegan room in the politics server now?
Oh damn!
Yeah, so we can see if there's anybody there and join the vegan room.
Yeah,
If there's not anybody right now, we can just wait for Carnist.
By the way, what ethical framework do you conform to?
Yeah, sorry about that. I checked if the vegan room was empty, but it's full of people right now. They're probably talking about random stuff.
Oh,
What did you
I'm
ask me?
I'm still joining. Like in philosophy, there's different ethical frameworks. Like there's virtue ethics, there's utilitarianism, there's deontology, there's ethical intuitionism or something. Which one of those are you, or do you think you are?
Yeah, I think most of my values can be. I think it makes sense to me like a combination of utilitarianism and the deontology. Something like threshold deontology makes sense to me. What about you?
I'm a virtue ethicist, but I was originally a threshold deontologist, and then
Oh,
after
cool.
that, I went, yeah.
Oh, we gotta talk about that. That's interesting. Hey, what's up, Edgy?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? We're
What are
just
we?
talking about animal ethics. Do you want to join?
Yeah, sure. Well, what's like the particular subject?
Yeah, so, like, would you say that murdering and eating humans is ethically wrong?
Um, Not really. I don't think it's ethically wrong. I think we just um have morals and values that we're taught. Like we're taught that murder is bad. So
Sure.
obviously
Yeah.
people do
Yeah.
that.
I would. I would. I would agree with
Mm,
that. Morality is a social construct, and it has to do with our personal values. But what do you think,
yeah.
from your point of view, from your own values? Would you say murdering and eating humans would be wrong?
I think murdering people would be wrong, but eating them wouldn't, unless if it's not done properly. And I mean, like, if the humans are tested for diseases after they die and preserved properly, with good sanitization, yeah, I don't see what the problem would be. Of course, you'd have their family's consent or the person's consent before they die. You
Oh,
could,
so that's interesting. So just with the consent.
yeah, the consent is the issue here, because most families hold some kind of emotional values tied to the person. So obviously they wouldn't want to give it away to people to eat them. But I feel like if everyone would like normalize this shit, it could very much solve world hunger.
Yeah, so let me ask you this, like from your own values, like right now, would you say that's like reopening Auschwitz and holocausting a group of humans for food, would that be okay?
No, I'm not into killing innocents unless if you would want to kill people who've committed major crimes, then yeah, sure, why not? They kind of earned it. But I wouldn't want to kill a bunch of innocents that haven't really done anything.
Sure, let's keep it for the sake of argument, just for innocent people. So your answer would be that that is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so awesome. I agree. So
Yeah.
let's switch humans with animals. Would that be wrong? If we holocausted animals for food, like we're currently doing, is that morally acceptable?
It would be morally acceptable. I mean, that's already what we're doing, isn't it? We're already like just breeding animals in factories and then just murdering them like the Holocaust. So,
Sure. Like Holocaust just means, if you look up the definition, it just means slaughter on a mass scale. But let me
yeah.
ask you this: like, why is your answer different for the like? What's the morally significant difference between the case of holocausting animals and the case of holocausting humans that justifies the difference in treatment? Why is it okay to murder and eat one but not the other?
There's not like an okay and not okay. It's just more about what your own feelings tell you here. Because humans have emotional values to other humans because we relate to one another. Because we're all we're all part of the same species. So whenever something terrible happens to another human, the first thing that will come to your mind, oh shit, that could have happened to me too. So you would want to do your best to, not do what you wouldn't want to happen to you to other humans. But with animals, we kind of like disassociate from them because they're different species and they're not as intellectually developed as we are. So it just makes it okay in our eyes because we don't have any emotional ties to them. They're just animals.
Okay.
They're inferior to us.
Okay, so like you said a couple of things there. You said that we dissociate humans we dissociate about animals, like we don't really care about them. And one of the reasons that you gave there, I believe it was intelligence or something like that, or cognitive capacity. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So do you think that justifies murdering one but not the other? Just the level of intelligence?
It's not about justification. It's about being able to do something. When you're able to do something, it's either because you just can physically, but also because you have the mental power to do it, like the moral power to do it. So with most humans, if they want to hurt another human, they know that the person they're hurting is just as aware as they are, and they'll have the same thoughts and the same emotions as they will. But with animals, most humans will just assume that they don't, and that's because their conscience isn't as developed as us. So yeah.
Okay, so you said a couple of things there. So let's go at it one at a time. So you said cognitive capacity. That's one of the reasons why it would make it okay. And then you said something about like you keep suggesting that morality is subjective, and I agree. Like I agree, but that's why I'm asking you personally. What do you think about an animal holocaust, and why is it in your view okay to holocaust one but not the other? Is the answer still the level of cognition or intelligence?
Yep.
Okay, so do you accept that not all humans have the same cognitive abilities? Do you know that there's people with cognitive disabilities or mental disabilities?
Yeah.
So would it be justified to holocaust a group of mentally disabled people for food from your point of view? I'm not saying if it was normalized. I'm not asking any of that. I'm asking from your own ethical standards.
Disabled people, it depends on the case, because you have disabled people who still have who are still obviously more developed than animals, so it would still be wrong because even though they're not as
let's just equalize the traits. Let's say it's you couldn't tell about any difference from the level, like from the behavior alone. Like you couldn't tell that person had any higher cognitive abilities than the animal. Let's do that. They could do just the same things animals do. They just go to sleep. They can just eat. They can they can be content with their own existence, and they would want to continue to live. But they wouldn't be able to have like a discussion like this. They wouldn't be able to do any of those higher abilities.
I would say it's fine to kill them. I would say it's also fine to abort them because I'm also for abortions, but that's a different subject. But I do understand why other people wouldn't want to do that. Personally, I wouldn't care.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So you would accept holocausting the mentally disabled? In your view, that's justified?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we just reach a fundamental value difference there. I think that's insane. Like, I think why would you, violate the rights of another sentient being if you can just eat something else that's not sentient and has not ability to suffer? What?
I'm not saying we should do that. I don't see why there would be any reason to do it. Like it would just be useless.
No, I'm not asking. I'm not asking. Sorry, I'm not asking if it's useful. I'm asking if it would be morally acceptable in your view.
Yeah,
Bro,
I
is
would.
that Peter Steele in your profile picture, AG Midget?
What was that?
Hold on. Go ahead. I'm just gonna send you a picture.
Anyway, so
You like my profile pic? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
Good
like
to know I'm not the only one who knows the reference. Anyway, yeah. What were you saying, Harry?
yeah, I'm just asking. Like, I guess what I'm asking is, are you answering that? Like, do you honestly have that view that it would be okay to holocaust a group of humans just for needlessly? We didn't need it to survive or be healthy. But if we were just started doing this, you wouldn't have any ethical issues with that.
Not really.
Okay,
I
then
don't
then
really. I don't really care about human life that much in general. I would still not want, obviously, to murder just anyone.
yeah, I
But
think I think.
with the
Sorry.
mentally disabled people and the ones and going with the theory that we're only talking about the ones that aren't aware, that have a cognitive behavior of an animal, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just wanna. I'm just asking this because like I seem to see like an inconsistency in your view because earlier you said you had a problem with killing the innocent, but like aren't those people the most innocent of them all? Like people that can't they haven't done anything wrong. They just want they value their own existences. Why would it be okay in your view to harm them?
Because they're not just like, well, when I said innocents, I meant like normal people, that haven't really done anything. Those people, even though they're not doing bad on purpose, but they're still like, they're still like a weight on society because they're not productive in the community. They're not bringing us any favors. Um, so I don't see why our society would need them in the first place. And
Okay.
if they're not, developed enough to, have like the same intellectual level as us, then fuck it.
Okay, so in your view, if you number one have an option to go vegan and not support exploitation and cruelty, or number two continue abusing animals, well, what do you think is a better choice, more compassionate choice?
Fucking
Hunting?
eating animals
Hunting
because
your
meat
own?
is great. I'm gonna
Hunt-
die anyway, so it doesn't matter what happens to the environment, in my opinion.
I'm not asking anything about the environment. I'm asking about ethics. So
Well,
it would be okay
ethically,
because you're gonna die anyway. What do you mean? What do you mean
ethically,
by
I would.
you're gonna? What do you
What?
mean by you're gonna die anyway? Why would that justify everything?
Well, it's because like most people worry about the environment when it comes to animals. They're like, oh, we're killing too much of too many animals. It's ruining the ecosystem. The environment's dying off. We're killing planet Earth. Blah blah blah.
Sure,
And
I agree. There are environmental reasons to adopt a plant-based diet, but veganism is a moral philosophy.
right, so I might have drifted from the subject, but when I was thinking about that, it's like because most people like they worry too much about the present, and my point of view is a bit more nihilistic. I don't really care. So
I mean,
I'm gonna die
but
anyway. That was the
presumably you do care about something, like you do care about human rights, so you wouldn't harm at least sapient humans who have the ability who meet the threshold of cognition that you value. But
yeah
anything beneath that you don't care. So if you had a choice of number one, being vegan, and number
yeah
two, abusing animals, you would still choose to abuse animals.
yeah. I already answered that question. Yeah,
Okay, I was just wanted to get it straight. So
and
yeah, I
that's
guess
also
too
it's
bad about that.
also
Then I
the
think
natural.
that's
Sorry, I just wanted to say it's also the natural way of things. We're made to um, consume animals for
I
our
mean
survival.
who cares? Like if it was the natural way to enslave humans and commit tribal warfare and commit rape. If we were to find out all those things were natural, would they be justified in your view?
But they aren't they natural?
Exactly, that's my question. So if that's natural, is it okay to rape women, enslave other races of people, commit tribal warfare? Is that okay, Ajimejit?
I think empathy is something that developed with us as we evolved, so we could live in a community because it was the better option for our survival. Because humans were stronger when we lived in communities rather than, each one of us living on their own because we didn't have the physical ways of defending ourselves. We had to work together to survive. So in a way, empathy is the natural way of things. It took a while to become part of us, but it is part of us.
Maybe is it that empathy came when everyone had enough resources to not be hungry because of the industrial.
Sure, like I would agree with that. Like there's evolutionary reasons why we develop empathy, but we have empathy now. Why not extend that empathy and moral consideration to other beings? Like why the hell continue to commit murder if we don't have to?
Because it doesn't change anything. It's not useful to us. It's unnecessary. Like I don't see the point of developing empathy towards animals. It was useful to develop empathy towards other humans because, again, we needed to live in a society to be able to survive.
And again, in your view, it would be fine to, if there was a group of humans who weren't useful to us, like the intellectually disabled, like again, your answer wouldn't change. That you would still be fine with holocausting them all and eating them, and like not only holocausting them all, but perpetuating the Holocaust infinitely, like the animals. Like let's say we continue doing this, we wouldn't just exterminate them out of existence. We would continue this cycle of torture. In your view, that's totally fine.
It doesn't have to be torture. You can do it in a human way.
No. The reason I'm asking about if it's okay to torture is because the animals are in the similar situation. Like animals, in fact, I don't know if you know much about factory farms, but for example, dairy cows, they get put in a rape rack and get in artificially inseminated by bull semen. Then the kids, they murder the males for veal. The females, they enslave them and they murder them when they stop producing milk. The baby chicks, they throw them into a blender. So it is a cycle of torture. So you would be fine with doing the same sort of thing.
That goes back to what we were saying before because
can I get my question in? Sorry.
Sorry.
So again, would it be fine to do the same sort of thing, like raping female, intellectually disabled females, keep murdering their kids, and just extending a cycle of torture infinitely, just because they're not useful to us? Would you be fine with that?
Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying before about how humans disassociate from animals, because to us they're different species. To us, we're born with the natural instinct that we're on the top of the food chain now, so animals are inferior and thus are made to be eaten.
Okay, but did you answer my question?
Well, I'm getting there. Just give me a second. But then with humans, it would be different because we don't have that. Well, in general, I mean, not with with exceptions. We obviously have psychopaths out there, but we don't have that general idea that humans are inferior to us because we're all from the same race. So I would say torturing them would not be okay, but killing them in a humanly way would be fine.
Okay, so I see a definite inconsistency there. So you would say a cycle of torture and murder would be fine in an animal case, where a cycle of torture and murder even for intellectually disabled humans wouldn't be okay. So what's the difference? The morally significant difference that accounts for or your
It's not a
response?
moral. It's not about morality here. It's more about human emotions because we're not machines after all. It goes back to the empathy part.
I mean, but that's just a descriptive statement. Like, for example, like just because we don't have empathy towards somebody, it doesn't justify murdering that person. So, for example, if empathy wasn't a thing, would it be okay to Holocaust anyone in that view?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's like to me at least. That's the only thing that's stopping me from, going around murdering people.
Okay, just because you feel icky about it, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
So what accounts for that difference? Like why, if you see a human getting tortured, even an intellectually disabled human getting tortured and then murdered for food, like you have a certain emotional reaction there, and then an animal, you have a different emotional reaction. What accounts for that difference in your view? Like maybe you don't know, but what's your intuition? What's the difference there that accounts for you saying no, it's not okay for a cycle of torture in intellectually disabled humans, but in animals it is?
Well, I'm just repeating myself at this point. It goes back to like what I was saying, which is you can relate to humans because they're humans. Your brain, it's easier to relate to something or someone that's just like you, even if they're different in a way. But other humans are the closest thing to yourself, so it's easier to relate to them, and so you automatically will feel more empathy towards them. With animals, I can't relate to animals. I can't relate to my dog. I can't relate to the way he feels about things or what he wants in life or any of that shit. To me, he's just a dog. He's as worthy as an object.
Okay, so the
Sorry,
difference.
I just wanted to add one more thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like I still love my dog, obviously, but that's just because I grew emotions towards him with time. But if you were to die now or tomorrow or any day, I wouldn't really care. It's just a dog.
I mean, I wouldn't care if you die tomorrow, but I still wouldn't want somebody to murder you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that also goes back to what I was saying. Like it's the whole empathy thing where you can relate to other humans, and that's a general rule. There are exceptions to it. Again, like serial killers or psychopaths or just people with like some kind of mental illness. But
Okay, so
yeah.
basically, in your view, I heard like you it was your last thing. So just to summon this up, you said that basically your view is anything that we exhibit empathy towards, it's wrong to kill. Or
I didn't say
torture.
it was wrong. That's
Not
what
kill,
you
torture.
said. I never said it was wrong. I said I just wouldn't want for that to happen because that's just my personal opinion. Because that's what you asked for again. You said what would be your own
No,
view on it.
of course, and I'm just talking about your personal opinions because we all agreed that morality is subjective. So when I ask, is it wrong? All I'm saying is it like, do you have a negative attitude towards that action?
Yeah.
Okay, just because they're human. So if it was another sapient species, it would that we don't have empathy towards, even if they were as sentient as we are, as that have had culture, it would be totally fine to holocaust a species of intelligent sapient aliens just for food.
Well,
In your view?
it's hard to say because we still haven't encountered such a species, so I wouldn't really know how I would feel towards them because you'd need to experience that in real life to be able to know how you'd feel in that moment.
Sure, but we can just hypothetically, you can imagine it, right? You can imagine finding a species like this in another planet, innocent species, sapient species. Would it be okay to murder them if we don't have any empathy toward them?
I'm not really sure, to be honest, to answer that question. Because again, I don't know. I'd have to like meet them and really know them to be able to tell how I would feel about them. I'm not sure if I would feel empathy towards them or not.
Okay, let's just say that in the hypothetical that you met them, and you visited them, and you don't care about them. Like they have science and philosophy and technology, and they care about their lives. But you just to the same degree that you don't care about animals, you don't care about them. Is it okay to Holocaust to eat?
Yeah, but you still wouldn't be able to eat them. But it would be fine in a Holocaust, and if I don't care about them, then
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean you wouldn't be able to eat them?
because if they come from a different planet, they're probably biologically different from us, and our enzymes wouldn't be able to digest them.
I mean that's just adding something to the hypothetical. Let's say they were carbon-based life like we. Let's say they had this, similar stuff to us.
Yeah.
The scientists say, amino acids, protein, all that we need is in it.
Just because something is carbon-based doesn't mean they're digestible. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let's just say they are digestible. Is it okay to Holocaust to eat?
But yeah.
Okay, then I think we just reach fundamental value differences there. I think it's horrible to exploit and murder innocent beings. I think sentience is a trait that I value, and yeah, I just think most people would hear your view and say that's psychotic. Like I would disagree with that.
I'm not surprised. Like even like some humans that are out there, I wouldn't want them to die, but most of the time, the way I feel about people, if they do die, I really don't care. But I wouldn't be surprised that we have such different views on life.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so what's your normative ethics? What do you care about? Do you care about reducing suffering, or you don't care about anything really?
I really don't care about mostly everything in life. I feel like,
gotcha.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were saying in the start, or what we agreed on, is like, morality is a social construct. So, to me, that at least just kind of like decreases from its values in my eyes. It's not about it's not a divine rule anymore. It's just a subjective thing, and so then what's really the point? It's just, I don't know. To me, it's just, life doesn't really have a point, and you can just do whatever the fuck.
I would agree with something like that. I can still be a nihilist, an existential nihilist, and still care about stuff just because I have certain values. I feel like certain way towards something. So anyway, but I guess we just reach a fundamental value difference. Hey, Son Hierro, is there anything you wanna add?
No, I can't think of anything I would like to add.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you, bro.
By the way, we're from a server called Animal Rights Advocates. If you've ever heard of that server before, and if you've ever encountered other vegans on the server before, I'm sure, like, we all come from one server, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing to have a little discussion, man. Like, I appreciate it.
If you'd like an invite, I can send you.
I'm just gonna head out now. Take care. Have a nice day.
You
Take
too.
care, man. So what do you think about that?
Just another one of those people who don't care about life.
Yeah, that doesn't care about. I got him to so many ridiculous reductios. He said it was okay to Holocaust the disabled. He said it would be okay to Holocaust intelligent aliens just because he doesn't have any empathy for them. Like, that's totally psychotic in my view.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna head out now. I don't know about you. You can join with Julia if you want. Oh my goodness, even the edgy guy actually went to Julia's voice channel, so they're just gonna hear about veganism again.
Yeah, no problem, man. I think I'm gonna head out too. It's getting pretty late. But it was nice talking to you, man, doing some advocacy with you. We gotta talk sometime about the virtue ethics thing that you were mentioning me.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
It's something I didn't read about or anything. I think I'm gonna empiricist or something, because like I've learned philosophy throughout my life experiences. I never read up on virtue ethics. I knew about virtue ethics before I discovered it was an actual thing.
Yeah, I
That's
think it's interesting. I think I'm learning a little bit about Aristotle's virtue ethics right now, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I what I think about it as a normative ethics. But I want to learn more about it. So maybe sometime we can have a combo about that.
Yes, I'll see you next weekend if you're going to be there.
Sure, man. I'll try. See you. See you. I appreciate
Thank you
it.
for tagging along.
Have a great time.
You too.